Hello children, good morning. How are you all? So today's lesson, very beautiful, interesting story, Princess September. So the introduction first, okay? You read it like a story, okay? It's like a fairy tale. The lesson Princess September by Somerset Maugham. How's the pronunciation? What's the pronunciation? Somerset Maugham. Again, Somerset Maugham. Revolves around the youngest daughter of the King and Queen of Siam, named September. It all begins when her parrot dies and a singing bird comes in its place. Her sisters then provoke her to lock the free bird in a cage if she did not want to lose him. Once she locked the bird in the cage, he refused to eat or sing and instead became miserable. Thus, the little princess allowed the bird to be happy in its own way because she loved him so much. The bird, on the other hand, loved the princess and kept on visiting her. The king and queen of Siam had so many daughters, so they decided to name them after months of year. January, February, March, till they named their youngest daughter September. So the king had a strange habit of giving away gifts on his birthday instead of receiving them. So he had that habit. He thus gifted all of his daughters a green parrot in a golden cage. The princess gave the parrots an hour each day and taught them to say, "What? God," said the king and Pretty Polly in no less than 7 Oriental languages. Princess September's parrot died one day. She was very upset. She kept on crying, and nothing her maid of honors did comfort, and maid of honors did nothing. So of course the maid of honors comforted her. They consulted the queen, who advised them to put her bed without any supper. The maids of honor did it and left her alone. The princess did not stop crying, and suddenly she noticed a little bird sitting on a window. The bird sang so beautifully that she jumped up to sit in her bed. It even made her forget about the parrot, that she was hungry because she had missed her supper. The little bird asked the princess to let him be her pet bird. Princess September got delighted, and the bird sang to sleep that night. Next day, when the maids of honor brought her breakfast, she fed the bird rice with her hands and bathed him in a saucer. She then decided to show the bird to her family. Thus she went about the palace, and Little Bird sang a different song for everyone. The king and the queen were delighted on seeing the melodious bird. The queen felt it was right for her to send the princess to sleep without supper. The king, on the other hand, felt happy on seeing the bird sing, as he was tired of listening to the parrot's Pretty Polly in 7 languages. So it reminded him of his counselors who could say the same thing in 7 different ways without making sense. This made the 8 sisters unhappy. The 8 sisters put their heads together and went to see Princess September. They offered to buy her a parrot like theirs, but September refused, as she was happy with a little singing bird. The princesses then provoked Princess September to lock him in a cage. When he returned as this way, she can be sure of his possession. This made September uneasy. And upon hearing that the bird almost did not come back that night, she locked the bird, telling him that her mother's cats were prowling around the night. The bird agreed only if she let him out of the next morning. The next morning, September refused to let him out as she was afraid she would lose him. The bird, on the other hand, got upset and refused to eat or sing. The 8 sisters felt that September had made a wise decision by listening to them, and they asked her to stay firm. They said, okay, stay firm. They told her that it was very ungrateful of the bird to not eat anything and understand her love. Princess September was not very sure about it, but she decided to wait till the next day and see if he would get used to it. The next day, what happened? She received no reply from the bird. Upon seeing the bird lay on his side at the bottom of the cage, frightened September, who then instantly got him out of the cage, she started crying miserably, and when a drop of her tears fell upon the bird opened his eyes. On seeing that he was no longer surrounded by bars, he told September that he can't sing in a cage, and if he won't sing, he would die. Princess September decided to let him free. The bird promised to come back. Her sisters mocked her for her decision, but the bird did not come back. She left her window open day and night for the bird to come in as he pleased. This helped her grow into an extremely beautiful woman. She got married to the king of Cambodia. Her sisters, on the other hand, never left the window. So they never left the window open at night, and thus they grew up to be ugly and undesirable. They were given away, that is, married to the king's counselors with some tea and a Siamese cat. So see how beautiful the story is. So that's the explanation of part 1. The king and the queen of Siam. This is part 1. Had many daughters, and the queen said that it confused. Actually, you are supposed to read it like a story, children, not I. To remember so many names. I told he named his daughter after months of the year. Siam, now Thailand. Siamese, old-fashioned term for Thai. So the king and queen of Siam had many daughters named after months. So that's the summary of this. Please read it very carefully. Look at that, the bird in the cage, the daughters. The king of Siam had a peculiar habit. Instead of receiving gifts on his birthday, he would give them. See, 1 year on his birthday, what did he do? What did he do, children? He gave each of his daughters a green parrot in a golden cage. They were proud of the parrots. They spent so many hours teaching them to talk. Presently, all the parrots could say, "God save the king," and some of them could say, "Pretty Polly," in 7 languages. Okay, look at the word meanings, children. Please note down. So that's the explanation of the lesson. That the king had a strange habit of giving gifts on his birthday instead of receiving. He gave each of them a parrot, and the girls taught the birds to talk. One day what happened? See, read that. Are you reading it? So maids of honor, women attending princes. Evening meal is called supper. So what happened? One fine day, when Princess September went to see a parrot and wish him, she discovered the parrot was lying lifeless. She started crying. The matter was taken to the queen. The queen said it was stuff and nonsense, and the child simply needed to rest. So while she lay in her bed, she was still crying. The bird began to sing all about the lake in the king's garden. So princess was not crying now. Look at the word meanings. Note down. That's the explanation, children. She sat as the little bird sang a melodious song. Yeah, the willow trees peeped at their reflection. Princess was not weeping now. She forgot that she was hungry also. So, this is what is there in your story, in the text. Some of you don't have textbooks, so please read it carefully. Okay? So Princess September liked the song of the bird. She said it was nice. The bird bowed down and asked the princess if she would like to have him in place of the parrot. He confessed what? He knows he's not as pretty as the parrot, but he can surely sing beautifully. So next day the bird was still there. He began to sing again. Look at the word meanings. You must note down the word meanings. It's very important. The bird had a melodious voice. Princess September was very glad and she was proud of him. Yeah. What is the meaning of perch? Place where a bird sits or rests. That is perch. Princess expressed her desire to show the little bird to 8 other sisters. Yeah, she extended a forefinger of her right hand to make a perch out of it and allowed the bird to sit on it. The bird could sing, whereas the other parrots could only say, God save the king and Pretty Polly. So when she showed to other sisters, to the king and the queen, it made them very happy. The king did not have any doubt on the capability of the parrots to say it in 7 different languages. The princesses were vexed, very angry, annoyed. Glum means looking dejected, sad. Lark is a small bird that sings. Nightingale is a small migratory bird, thrush, with drab brownish feathers. Plumage means feathers. The other princesses got angry, depressed, because their birds could not sing. Look at that, how the bird is perching on the finger of the princess. That's the king and the queen. Yes, did you see that, children? That's a lovely picture. So things went on like this for several days. Yeah, the princess put their heads together. They went to September, sat down in a circle round her. My poor September, they said, we're sorry for the death of your beautiful parrot. Put their heads together, discussed. The situation in the palace remains somewhat like that only. They went to Princess September, sat around in a circle, expressed grief, sorrow. Thank you for nothing, said Princess September. I have a pet bird which sings most charming songs. Please read carefully every line, every sentence. Look at the word meanings, very, very important. Absurd means inappropriate. So Princess September finds that offer of no use, and there she said, thank you for nothing. The sisters are actually jealous here. Princess September alone and is feeling uneasy, see? She's so alone and she's feeling uneasy, children, see? It seemed to Princess September that her little bird had been away for a long time. Something might have happened, yeah. She wished he were safely back again. Look at the word meanings, note down. So Princess September, she finds that it's long since her little bird left. She began worrying now that something must have happened. Hawks must have trapped the bird. How terrible it would be, she thought to herself. Suddenly she hears a tweet, 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 tweet. Look at the word meanings. So the bird has come back. The bird is sitting on her shoulder. He came very softly without making any sound. The bird was not aware, it said, that princess would be so worried. Yes. See, beautiful story. Look at the love for bird. See, princess loves the bird so much. So fond of the bird. Yeah. Look at that. So beautiful. Look at that picture. So beautiful, isn't it? So the bird ate a good supper, began to sing. September tells the bird to sleep. So the bird sleeps. Look at the word meanings. Please note down. That's the explanation for that paragraph, children. So you have to read it very carefully. Are you reading it? No, you have to try to understand and read, children, okay? September went to sleep. It was early morning, dawn broke. Wake up, the bird was telling her. Yes. Look at the word meanings. Very important. Note down, children. So the sun was up. She was forced to wake up. The bird told her, don't keep me in cage. Let me out. Yeah. Because why? Freedom would be curtailed. And birds like to fly in the open. Yes, in the open, in the vast sky. They don't like to be caged because the space is so limited there. Okay, that's all in this session. We shall continue in the next class. Thank you. Goodbye.